great to be here and to take a little bit of time to create. So I'm Kathy Freeman with Adventurous Creatives. You can find that page here on Facebook. Please share and pass this. I would love that. I wanted to take a second and just show you a project that I decided I was going to work on and finish today. I started it last night and I had so much fun just relaxing. My whole page is about using your creativity to retreat away from the chaos that's created throughout the day, throughout the week, and take a little bit of time for yourself, create, relax, so that you can go back in and be 100%. Let me go ahead and share this page with you. This page I started last night just throwing color on with watercolors. And then this particular page here, I don't know where the rest of it is. Ah, here it is. I was working on another project and I simply took the excess paint and put on this page and then did some ink on it. And I thought I'm going to use this as a background, which I did. I ripped off a piece, put it over here. So some of this I've already been working on so that it's, but I thought I'd just pop on and pull you in here with me. I really had a challenge this morning, though, wanting to put anything else on this page because the color and the way it blended together, I loved it. But I thought, let's be brave. Let's go ahead and move forward. So I've got some ideas here, and I started putting on, transferring some flowers. This one here is simply a stamp that I purchased, stamped that on. I stamped the whole thing here, and then I blocked the stem because I wanted the different height and I didn't want it to look exactly the same. That's one thing about stamps is they tend to repeat the exact thing over, and I didn't want it to. So I'll create a little bit of a different stem here so it stands out differently. Let's see. The flower here, I've had these books for a very long time, and I'm bringing this to your attention because I feel like people tend to step away from creating if they have not had any type of art education. And even though I have had some, it doesn't necessarily mean that I create any better than you or anybody else. Creativity comes from the heart. It doesn't come from the brain. And I think we get that confused. I think we start, even I do, I get confused at times myself and start trying to overthink things. And I have to step back, use the right side of my brain, which is the creative side anyway, and then pull from my heart. And if you'll do that, you'll just find that you'll have the best time doing it. Anyway, these books I picked up at my half-price bookstore, and they have all kinds of patterns and that inside. I've never really used them. Oh my goodness, I have had these, I don't know, 20 years. I'm telling on myself what age here, but I had a couple of them and I thought, I'm going to use that. So I took my graphite paper, which you can get at your craft store, your art store. Graphite paper is what you want. And I like the flower that was actually on the front page. And so I put the graphite paper down, put this down, and I traced it on. How simple is that? See, so anybody can do this. Now, I'm in the process right now of going back, and I decided that instead of adding more color to it, I wanted to go more black and white or black outlining with these flowers. I may go in and add just a little bit of color to those to have them pop out, but let's see. Let's take the journey and see. Now, I think that's probably dry, but I'm going to turn this over on this side. And I'm using a Sharpie. And I have already covered the top of this, and it actually feels like it's dried out. Maybe because I've had it open while I've been talking. That's always a possibility. No, there it goes. When you work on these surfaces, I have a matte medium on top of this, and it can kind of clog up your Sharpies. So I suggest instead of pushing down hard, glide over the top, because I don't know exactly why, but it does. It clogs it up. It stops it from actually doing it. But if I'll just glide over the top, then it seems to be okay. See right there, it doesn't want to, well, it doesn't want to transfer the ink over. So I just have to, another place on my Sharpie that I can do this. And the reason that this is on here is because when I put this down, I used the matte gel to actually adhere this. So if I had just glued the back, oh, that might have been all right. Let's get this to work again. Here we go. Challenging. Put my glasses down, my bifocals here. Let me see the details better. And I'm not going to look at comments while I'm doing this, but please post your comments if you'd like, and I'll be so happy to comment and back on them when I'm through. But I want to keep this to a very short video and not have it go extremely long. All right, let me look at my original here to see what is happening over here. Sometimes you'll put it down. You have to go back in and just kind of Sharpie. Come on, Sharpie. We can do this. We can do this. Sometimes if you set a Sharpie down too and just let it rest for a minute, it's like the ink will get the ink back out again. Some wonder, why is art so relaxing? I mean, I think it would be pretty stressful, actually, that question. Well, what I found for myself is, you can sit and stew over and worry over situations that are going on in your life. Um, but it will also show up in your art. And you'll have a greater challenge trying to even create the shapes. I know this from experience. I was doing just a simple doodle. Well, it wasn't really a simple doodle, but it was a doodle. And I was busy thinking about something that I was concerned about. And I was having a dickens of a time trying to get the circles to even look like circles. They were kind of turning out like ovals. And I thought, this is really interesting. And so I learned firsthand that it's really almost impossible, not impossible, I guess that's the incorrect way to say that, but it is very challenging to actually be able to create while you're stressed out. Now, can creativity relax you? Absolutely, if you allow it. But sometimes we don't allow that by staying too focused on something that's going on in our mind. So if you'll just allow it, focus more on the shapes that you're creating. Like right now, I'm not really thinking this is a leaf. I'm thinking this is more of a elongated shape. And I'm just following the lines, looking at the colors. I love how these colors are blended in here. If you do that, it gives you a little break. And the gift of the right brain is that it helps us see the bigger perspective, bigger picture. All right, now what I'm going to do here is, let's see, I want to come down. Give him his stem. Like so. I could put his leaf over here, like that one. I'll put it over here. Oh, it feels like we need something over here anyway. Another one here. Just like that. Wonderful. Okay, now I've kind of got these flowers that are sitting here floating. And so what I did is this is wrapping paper, and I'm going to glue that down here on the bottom. Makes a wonderful base, like the dirt. I'll just put that on with the matte gel. And my brush. You looking forward to the weekend? It's Friday. I usually like to do my videos on a Monday or Tuesday, somewhere at the beginning of the week, because people come in and they're a little exhausted over and not, over the weekend, or not looking forward to Monday, basically. And so I like it to be a little pick me up. This is going to go right here on the edge. This is a page in my art journal. And I had pre-cut this. Like that. I use the very tip of him. Put a little glue there and help him to stick down. I like the way that just comes right down to the bottom. Oops. You may play with a piece back and forth a couple of times till you get it exactly the way that you want it, and that's okay. Covering up some of this wonderful green and pink down here. Because I just love to play in watercolor. I do not claim to be proficient at it, but I love to play in it. And I take every opportunity I possibly can to do so when I'm in the middle of creating something. All right, I need a little more matte gel here. It's dried up. Like that. There we go. Okay, now something else that I've found is, where did I put it? This wonderful page of a magazine. Isn't that wonderful? These are baskets. And the texture, I love the texture. I thought, oh, this will make a great background. But as I was sitting here looking at this today, I thought, hey, I want to add some other stuff. So I cut out a couple of them, and they're going to become flowers in this garden. This one, instead of keeping it round, I'm going to go ahead and, I'm going to cut out that blue. I don't know, I like the blue in it. That's what gives it the interest. Oh no. Let's do it. Maybe at least part of it, right? You just have to be brave. Just like I said, sometimes I try to overthink it too much. I encourage you not to do that. Cut these off. Not being precise. Careful. I'm feeling a little more boldness here. I'm gonna make these more there. There we go. That's an interesting shape. I'll be gluing those in. Let's do that right now. Go right over the top. Move him on. Right over the top of there. Good deal. Wondering, I feel like I need another one over here just to kind of balance that whole look out. Well, before I do that, let me do something else. I'm taking it one step at a time. I have a lot of texture, a lot of color going on here with my background already. So I'm wanting to put the stems in for these. Just need to get it to finish the project. I've got another one that will work a little better for us here. And I should let this dry a little more. I'm actually putting these on while it's still a little wet there. Okay, and I've punched out of that same paper these wonderful little pieces. And I'm going to glue them down. Right now. Thinking about having them stick out a little bit, but when I close my book, they'll go flat anyhow, but I like the 3 dimension of them. Go. A little bit of something there. Add a few more, let's say, here, down around by the stems. Yeah, by the stems. There we go. It's very subtle. Let that dry for a second. As a matter of fact, I might encourage the drying process with my little dryer. Okay, the next thing I wanted to come in with is I'm going to just do maybe a little bit of color. So take a small brush. I'm going to add a little color here. I don't know if it's going to be a mistake, but you never know till you do it. And it's okay. You can always fix it. That's why we call ourselves adventurous creatives, because it's really about taking the adventure. There. I am liking that. I like that. I'm not filling it in solid. I'm still wanting the yellow orange to pop through in different areas, but this actually going to have some black over that, but right now. Let's try this color. This color is called light purple. Back here. This other color is called Persian red. That does not look like red to me, but that's what they named it. We're going to go with it. And I'm going to get my little brush. Here. Now let's just play with the colors here for a minute. See what happens. Okay. I almost would have called this like a lilac. Lilac, some people call it. Right. I'm going to carry that color over here a little bit. Don't want to cover up the paint that's showing through that's already was on this paper. But just giving it a little bit of color there. Come up into this bloom area. And I'm being extremely random. I'm not being a perfectionist at this. Just dabbing it in there. Okay. Really want to encourage those of you that are a little shy, stepping out and this color, which is the Persian. Let's see what it does. Just going really carefully, light touch right over. Not making it, it's not super heavy, just a little bit. And the brush kind of glide over the top and hitting it randomly. We're going to come back in here, get some more on my brush. There again, I don't want to cover up the wonderful color that's already there. Just adding a little bit in here and there. Brings a little more continuity to the page, I feel. Kind of covering up some of those dark areas there. And probably need to take some of that out. Wet my brush, pull it off. Let's go back in here with water. There, and just lift that because I didn't want to really cover up the dark. There we go. Bring those back. Painting was covering that up. And I did it before it's dried, so it will move quite easily. There we go. All right. What other things? What other shall we get into? I feel like there's too much of a separation here. You've got this over here, but I like that, but it's just too opposite. So I either need to add something like that over here, maybe a small little one over here a little bit, bring so that it brings it throughout the whole page, or bring this over here. And I'm thinking I'm going to bring the brown over here somehow. So let's see. That to the side. Get out my scissors. Actually, might be nice to just have a little punch and punch this out instead of trying to. This. And really step into your feeling. How does it feel? Right? It's starting to feel like it belongs, that belongs there. That off a little bit. I am a messy creator, so. I believe I have another punch. Just a little flower. Punch that. Let's try to see if I can. Oh, it's really too small to do that with. But you can save that and make a neat flower with that. Let's take this though. Punch the flower shape out. There we go. There we go. There we go. Another piece of this. So if you find something in a magazine, the colors call to you, maybe the texture calls to you, always find a way to use it. All right, that feels a lot better. And I think what I will do with this Do a couple of things. You could draw the little flower on it, or you could take your scissors. You can find them in my mess here. There they are. And cut. I might repeat. I'm just cutting in little triangles inside it. Give it a little variation. Oops. And as I did that, off goes my little flower. There we go. Put that one back over. I'll retrieve him. These are challenging to pick up. We're going to glue these down. I'm using those. Like that. Good. We'll just let that dry for a minute. I'll come back with a pen over that one. Let that dry. Might even help it dry a little bit. Last thing is I would like to add a little green, and I do not know if this is the green that I actually want. Put a little bit on. See. The other choice is an avocado color. My trays, I use every bit of it before I toss it out. Okay, my little paintbrush. I just gonna hold it over here and just see. I'm gonna start with the avocado. It's really more of like an apple green, but not bright. And I'm not gonna cover up this wonderful color that's going on here, but I want to emphasize that these are leaves. So I'm going to do a little bit of a wash, kind of where it's just a light stem. Again, I'm not hitting the whole thing because I have this wonderful watercolor underneath. Page is moving a little. Just okay. And the same here. There's a little bit of, we're not filling in everything. We're just giving enough to focus on. That's a leaf connected to that flower. There we go. Move this down. My page is starting to bend up a little bit. Okay, and over here, are these trying to, let me add a little stem for them. And then I'm going to touch that with a little bit of green too, but I think I'll use this really light. Just brushing right over the line. And here with a little bit of this light. Just to give some of the there we go. All right. I don't know why, but it just feels like maybe I will tap a little of the green here at the top. All right. There. And for the fun of it, add a little bit here and there. Now I'm just playing. And that's the fun, is when you just let yourself start playing with it. You don't know what's going to turn out. Just let it have fun. Okay, let's put a little bit of green inside these. All right. Okay, we're about done with that. Now, what I might try is this is a watercolor brush. I mean, not brush, pencil. It's an aqua pencil. Maybe something here to emphasize the center of this. Maybe use their black marker. Okay. There. Tie it in a little bit. And this one. There. That is the journal page. I love it. How fun. A lot of stuff going on here. I can see a statement up here. I'll probably have to think about that and find something, but I'll put myself up here, a positive message, something I can look back on and reflect. But that's the project for today. And it's basically just do a watercolor background. This is a stenciled ink. Trace on the flowers, come back with a little bit of paint. Now, if you take the challenge to create something yourself, please go over to my group page, which is Art Journaling and Mixed Media, Kathy Freeman, and join that if you're not a member of that or part of that group. And please post it there. I'd love to see what it is that you're working on and what it is that you find